What is up, world? We are back with day 4, and I think I'm gonna squeeze 5 in here too, of the 10 days of Dahmer. Okay, so y'all know what's been going around, this whole Dahmer case. Everybody's talking about it, everybody's plugged in on it, people have their opinions about it, and everybody got mixed opinions. So let's gather these opinions and let's talk about it. Episode 4, let's talk about that right now. Okay, so I decided to do this outside. I just meant to say that because it is beautiful where I am. I don't know where y'all at, but Hurricane Ian just left Saturday. It's Sunday, and it's beautiful outside. And I'm definitely, I like to think of myself as Mother Earth because I just love nature. I love outside. I got socks on, but I usually don't have no shoes on because I love embracing nature. Anyways, so we are in episode 4, okay, and this is the good guy box. That's what they called it. I still have no clue why Netflix called it this. The world may never know. So anyways, we are in 1991, right? And this is Jeff being interrogated by 2 officers. He's being interrogated by a white detective and a black detective, okay? And they question Jeff. So like I said, we're in 1991, and I really hate when documentaries do this. It's the jumps in time that gets me, Okay, so this is a part of the documentary where we learned that there was a pause in between his killings. Like I said, he's being interrogated. He's telling the story, and I don't know, the first thing I noticed when listening to Jeffrey Dahmer tell his story and do all this talking is how nonchalant he was. Jeffrey, if I don't give a fuck was a person, it would be Jeffrey Dahmer. And I made sure I did my research because y'all know this is a reenactment. Evan Peters, I think was his name, or something. It was something like that. He did the best job portraying Dahmer. Like, they couldn't have chose nobody better. Anyways, during the actual interrogation, Jeffrey was also this nonchalant. He was just like this. So he did an amazing job doing that. But anyways, that's the first thing I noticed. He was very nonchalant. So there was a 9-year gap, okay, between his killings. He stopped, and he was able to control himself for 9 whole years. So during the interrogation, the detective brought up a good question. Like, if you're really mentally unstable, you know what I'm saying? And this really has something to do with, the meds your mom was on while she was pregnant with you, or the way your dad brought you up. How was you able to stop for 9 whole years? How was you able to stop yourself for 9 whole years, and what made you go back? Like, they're trying to really understand him at this point and understand why he did the shit that he did. So I want to know y'all opinions in the comments below. Do y'all think Jeffrey Dahmer is really, like, insane? Because he says plenty of times, like, I'm not insane. He will literally say that. His dad even tried to get him to offer, like, a plea of, to get him off, and they would say reason of insanity. Like, but Jeff wasn't having it. He said he's not insane. So how do y'all feel? I think Jeffrey Dahmer was a fucking lunatic. I thought he was nuts. Okay, so then we learned that Jeffrey, like, really suffers from a serious medical condition. I cannot pronounce it, nor will I even embarrass myself trying to pronounce it. So I'm not even going to say it. If I'm able to, I will put it on the screen. If not, it's basically the sexual arousal from organs. Like, he was sexually aroused by organs, whether they were human organs, because y'all remember he nutted off of thinking about fish organs. So whether it's human organs or animal organs, he's sexually aroused by it. Apparently Jeffrey Dahmer is not the first person on earth who has this condition. Apparently it's really a thing. I don't know. Okay, so then we go into another pointless kind of scene where Jeffrey Dahmer sneaks into the honors society photos. Now, at first when I was watching it, I was like, okay, that scene was pointless. But then I kind of understood. So, like, then I started thinking about it more. He was really trying to be good. Now, he's telling the story from in 1991, but he's telling it from the 80s. He was actually trying to be a good boy. He actually tried to stop killing people. So I feel like when he snuck into the auditorium for the Honor Society pictures, he was trying to portray to the world that he's a good kid. He was trying to be a good kid. Now, what was funny was when they was mad at Honor Society Little Geek Club, They was mad because they was like, he has like a 2-point GPA. That shit was hilarious. Come to find out later, when Jeffrey went to college, his GPA was lower than a 2.0. So that's another scene that I felt like I should mention, because like I said, at first I didn't understand it, but then I thought about it. He's trying to be good. Why not be in the honor society? But so this is what happens after that. Okay, so he's all hype. He's like, yeah, I'm in the honor society. Mind you, this whole time, and I'm gonna get here, his mother is gone. We don't know where the fuck she went, okay? She left Jeffrey in her house for 3 months by himself. No, like, and he's 18. He's graduating. He did eventually graduate college. But anyways, back to the honor society. Like I was saying, when he got the yearbook, he opened it, turned to the honor society picture, and saw that they had marked out his face. They caught it before it was too late, and they marked out his face in all the yearbooks. So I just feel like that was a moment in his life where he was just like, fuck being a good boy. Like, I tried. That was his attempt at trying to be good, lying. Obviously, the man is mentally disturbed. So after that failed attempt of being an honor society student, he just went dark again. Okay, so like I was saying, Jeffrey was left in his house, or his mom's house, for 3 months by himself. No supervision, no nothing. But I will admit, he was still going to school. He wasn't throwing no wild parties. When his dad and his stepmom showed up, they were just basically appalled by the mess. You know, it was beer cans everywhere. It was trash everywhere. That's what they was appalled by. And the fact that the mother actually left. So the stepmom, you know, she stepped in and she said some things. And let me just pause and say this, okay? Because I got to get it off my chest. There are so many times in this documentary I was like, yeah, Jeffrey gonna kill her. He gonna kill her. He gonna kill him. It was the grandma, it was the neighbor, and it was the stepmom. I always thought Jeffrey was gonna take them 3 out, but he never did. He never did. So I just had to let that be known. Especially grandma, especially when she took that minute. Okay, so Jeffrey's dad and the stepmom, they take Jeffrey out for coffee because Jeffrey is obviously drunk. So he takes him out for coffee, sorry, to sober up. Everybody know when you're drunk, drink some coffee, okay? Anyways, so this is the point where I actually felt, this is the only point of this entire documentary where I actually felt some type of sympathy towards Dahmer. Like, come on now, y'all gotta have a heart. I understand he killed many innocent people, especially episode 6. We're gonna get there. And it made me tear up a little bit. Not this episode. Episode 6 made me cry. But this one, it just made me think, like, okay, maybe Dahmer really did need help. So they're at the coffee table. The dad is making him drink coffee. Jeffrey actually is trying to tell his dad, like, I have wild thoughts. Like, some of the shit that I did is not right. He actually tries to talk to his dad. So instead of the dad saying, you know, being a supportive dad and saying, okay, well, what are your thoughts? Or what's going on? Like, talk to me. Let's talk about it. You know, being a supportive dad, the dad is like, you know what? I got it. I'm going to enroll you in Ohio State. Like, really, this man is literally trying to tell you something. He's trying to tell you about his fantasies, his weird fantasies. As a father, yes, it might be uncomfortable, but as a father, you have to be equipped to deal with conversations like that. That's just as a parent, period. So anyways, that went sour. The dad just, I'm going to enroll you in Ohio State. And that's exactly what he did. He enrolled Jeffrey in Ohio State. And this is where we learned that Jeffrey flunked college. He got expelled because his GPA was a 0.45. I didn't even know that was possible. Okay, so plan B, because college obviously wasn't for Dahmer. Come on now, 0.45 GPA, really? They really didn't even have to mention that. They was coming for my mess. But anyway, so we get to him getting expelled from college. So the dad is like, you're going to the fucking army. And he says it just like that. So Dahmer goes to the army. And he does good for a year. He does okay. No killings, no nothing. He's chilling. He in the army. So he went to the army for like a medical something in the army for medical, of course. And I think this is where he started getting, you know, this is where he got those drugs more drugs from. So obviously he stole a bunch of drugs, came back home because guess what, he was discharged from the army, not honorably either. So this is where we find out that Jeffrey was discharged from the army because he drugged one of his army friends named Tanner and molested him while he was under. So this is why Jeffrey was discharged from the army. Now I still don't understand how Jeffrey got away with half the shit he got away with. If white privilege wasn't a thing, like, just imagine if Jeffrey Dahmer was black. First of all, he would have been arrested from the first. Anyways, Tanner is saved or whatever. He didn't die, so he reported Jeffrey's discharge from the army. So at this point in time, Jeffrey is sent to live with his grandmother, his dad's mother. Now, Jeffrey's mother or none of his mother's family was ever in Jeffrey's life, like, at all. I think his mother kind of knew, like, my son is okay. So Jeffrey is 21 at this point. He's 21 years old. He got expelled from college. He got kicked out of the army, so he's sent to live with his grandmother. Now, at first, when he sent to live with his grandmother actually believed in him. She truly did. Like, when at first, eventually we get different vibes from her, but at first she truly believed in him, and she gave him this little pep talk, about how much she believed in him, and about how he's not a failure, about how he can, go on. And I think this gave Jeffrey like a boost of energy or whatever you want to call it. But he's 21, he's still finding his way. She mentions, all you need is a nice wholesome girl. There's a lady at church I want to introduce you to. Jeffrey never goes to church with her. He do not fuck with church at all. He's obviously, but he gets queasy. You can kind of tell he gets queasy every time anybody mentions a girl. Like you saw in episode 3 and episode 4 where his father mentioned a girl. So he stays with his grandmother, and she respects his privacy. She give him his privacy. He gets a job. Guess where? Can anybody guess where Jeffrey got a job at? I'm hoping if you watch this, you already seen it. Yes, at a fucking meat shop. A meat butchering shop, to be exact. So he was butchering meat. And that's just... I won't even go there. But, yes, he got a job butchering meat. He was doing good. Or whatever. He was living with his grandmother. She respected his privacy until one day she could not take the smell no more. The smell coming from his room and the smell coming from the cellar where Jeffrey always is. She goes into his room and she does not know what to expect. She know Jeffrey is gone, but she noticed a lump in his bed and it looked like a person, So remember Jeffrey stole that mannequin, right? The grandmother goes in the room and she's like real hesitant because she don't know what the fuck to expect. She know her grandson is kind of weird at this point, but she don't know what to expect. So she pulls back the cover and it's a mannequin. It's a male mannequin in Jeffrey's bed. So now she get it. Like she kind of understands that Jeffrey, her grandson, is gay and he is fondling himself using a mannequin. So she gets the mannequin and she throws it away because she's very into church and she, church people when it comes to being gay. Anyways, so Jeffrey comes home. He is mad. He is infuriated. He fucking yells at her. I knew it was over for grandma at this point. Listen, y'all, I watched this part like with my hands over my face, like, oh my god, he about to kill his grandma. Jeffrey about to kill his grandma. She threw away his fucking mannequin. Like, so he doesn't kill her. He does not kill his grandmother. He just yells at her like really bad, hurt her feelings a little bit because she's just shocked, like oh my god, like what the fuck is wrong with this fucking boy? What is wrong with him? Like, that's her grandson. So she don't really say much. Jeffrey comes home, and he's calm now. So they have dinner together, eating their little TV dinners at the TV at dinner time. And Jeffrey apologizes to her for yelling at her. So he knew he was wrong, but he still don't got the mannequin. So we go into another scene, and this is the scene where she's talking to him after he apologized, right? And she's like giving him recommendations on things he should do, places he should go, people he should see. Of course Jeffrey is not in the church, so that's out of the question. So there was a county fair coming up in their county in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So Jeffrey goes to it. He decides to go to it, but he goes stupid drunk. Like, all I seen throughout the whole movie was Budweiser, so I don't know how many Budweisers it take to get drunk, but obviously it's a lot, but for Dahmer it couldn't have been much, because I never. Anyways, so he gets drunk and he goes to the county fair. While he's drunk, he starts hallucinating and sees one of the, I think it was a hitchhiker that he killed. And so at the county fair, you know, where there are thousands of people, Dahmer starts fucking masturbating. Like, he literally, like, it's funny, but it's not funny because it's kids there. Like, how are you that drunk? I pray to God that I never get that drunk. This is why now when I get drunk, I stay in the house. I want to know in the comments below, what do y'all do when y'all get drunk? Where do y'all go? What, like, it got to be some type of self-discipline. You know, if you're my age, I'm 29, so there got to be some kind of self-discipline. Jeffrey was 21 at this point, but still. Anyways, the next day he tries to get up and go to work at the little meat butcher shop. The boss is like, hell no, get out. I heard what you did at the fair. I can't have you in here. Bye-bye. So he's fired. Okay, so after Jeffrey gets fired, he is forced to find another job, right? I mean, he's only getting older and life is just passing him by. So anyways, he lies on his application, and because he was in the military, he's able to say that he was honorably discharged. I don't know why this job didn't do like a background check or things like that, especially when it comes to working in the medical field, because he was obviously like some type of med tech type thing, you know. So his first day on the job, he is pulling blood from a patient. So we noticed that when Jeffrey goes home, he goes to his room or whatever he decided to do, the bathroom, I think, and he pulls out blood, human blood, from the patient that he retrieved it from earlier. So he turns into like this fucking demon, and you can kind of see it in his eyes. Like, the director and the writer, they did a good job portraying how he felt. Like, he felt demonic. So he gets the blood. Out of the whole entire movie, he did some disturbing shit the whole movie, but this part was actually like seriously disturbing. So he gets the blood and he pours it all over himself, and then he drink it. Real human blood, he drink it like it was fucking Kool-Aid. You know, the good Kool-Aid with extra sugar? That's how he drank it. He let it run down his face, and then we get this like demonic feeling, this demonic vibe of him, you know, staring in the mirror with the blood dripping down his face like a vampire. So the blood situation was like the fuel to his fire, you know, it's what he needed to get back out there and get back right. So immediately we jump into a scene where he's at a nightclub. Okay, and he meets this guy, and this guy takes him to this weird place. Now, I don't know if places like this in the world really do exist, but I'm pretty positive they do, especially places like Wisconsin, where Jeffrey was, probably LA, like, you know, really big, busy cities. So anyways, right, they go to this place, and it's like a hotel kind of, but you got a fitness center, like typical hotels. You got the jacuzzi, like, you know, typical hotels, the not the cheap ones. But it's just so weird because it's just for men, it seems like. And there's men walking around naked, men in the jacuzzi naked, men working out with just towels on. It's just the weirdest place I've ever seen in weird place history. And they also have a back place where you can get a room at. So the guy takes Jeffrey to a room. What got me was how weirded out Jeffrey was when it was time for him to have sex with the man that he went back to the room with. Okay, because we know Jeffrey Dahmer is a gay man. We know Jeffrey Dahmer likes sex. So when he gets to the hotel type room with this man, Jeffrey don't want sex. He don't want to have sex with the man. He just want to hold him, and he told him that. So he held the man all night. The next morning, the man gets up. He like, I gotta go to work, blah blah blah. Jeffrey's like, please don't go. You know, this is something he say to all of his victims. I'm pretty sure every last one of his victims have heard Jeffrey say, please don't go, because he said it so many times throughout the entire documentary. It's like the pork chop thing, you know. He say it a lot. So he obviously has abandonment issues. The man leaves, needless to say. So now Jeffrey's like, fuck it. He goes back to that same nightclub. This time, Jeffrey picks up a man and takes him back to that hotel that he just learned about, or hotel he just learned about. I don't know what the fuck that shit is called, but it's weird as hell. I've never seen nothing like it in my life. So Jeffrey takes him there, and the reception is like, you could tell that this is happening over time, because the reception is like, oh wow, you're becoming a regular here, you know. So this particular man, Jeffrey is done playing. He brings this drug, and of course he drugs the man. The man is saved because the receptionist finds him. They find him unresponsive, call the police save his life. So the next time Jeffrey tries to come there to bring another man, the receptionist is like, no, hell no, you drug men and you leave them there. So the man that's with Jeffrey, he backs off. He like, oh hell no, I ain't going in there with you, you drug men. So Jeffrey cover is blown again. In the entire fuck was he not arrested? If the receptionist knew it's Dahmer who's drugging these men and raping them, why was Dahmer not arrested? Like, make it make sense. So Dahmer's blacklisted from that club or that hotel. He can never go back there. And the man is so nonchalant, he don't give a fuck. Like, he don't care. It's whatever to him. So he goes back to a nightclub and he is infatuated by this man he sees right on the floor. You know how you can tell when somebody on drugs? Like, you can tell when somebody's on drugs. Especially, I suspect in episode 4 that the man that he met at the club was on cocaine. It could be something else, but he acted like he was on fucking cocaine. So anyways, the man fucking it up. He freaking it on the floor. So Jeffrey's infatuated by him. So Jeffrey goes up to him, right, and buy him a drink. Of course he spiked the drink. Why wouldn't he? He wouldn't be Jeffrey if he didn't. So he spiked the drink, and then Jeffrey go fuck it up with him. When I tell you Jeffrey was fucking the club up, Jeffrey's banned from that little hotel type thing that I was telling y'all about, right? So he can't go back there. So he take this man to a nice it's really expensive, like luxury hotel. The man's like, man, I can't afford this. So Jeffrey's like, don't worry about it, I got it. So they go to the club. The man's like, you know how the white people do. But so I do that too, so I can't even say white people. So the man's jigging, he getting it on. So Jeffrey makes 2 drinks, right, and the man walks in on him making the drinks, but he don't see, that it's drugs on one. So Jeffrey, this time the drug was on him. Jeffrey Dahmer fucking drugged himself. He drugged his own motherfucking self. He took the wrong drink. So while he's drugged and can barely talk and can barely walk, he's still fixated on drugging this man. He fixed another drink, and this time he gets. So y'all, he didn't quit. He did not quit. He was barely able to walk, barely able to stand up, but he was still able somehow to fix this man another drink and actually drug the man. So they fall asleep or whatever, because both of them are drugged at this point. They wake up together. They both are in their underwear. It's obvious they had sex, They included sex without including sex. And that was in the whole documentary. Like, there was no sex scene. But there was sex, if that makes sense. Anyways, Jeffrey wakes up and the man is beside him. And they're actually asleep. Like, Jeffrey's head is up here, but his head is down here. So their feet are, Jeffrey wake up to his feet, basically. Come to find out, the man is dead. Obviously from an overdose. Episode 4 ends very disturbingly, okay? So Jeffrey, the man is dead, right? And they're at a hotel. So to, get the attention off of him, he kind of balls the man up and put him in a suitcase and just carries him out like it was nothing. Like, again, that shit is just crazy to me. Anyways, Jeffrey goes to the basement and he dismembers the man's body unintentionally, like, off camera, but you can tell that's what he did because that's what Jeffrey do. So the writer did definitely good on that part, and reading between the lines, I applaud her. I want to learn how to do that as a writer myself. So anyways, it ends with Jeffrey pulling the head out of the box. He pulls the man's head out that he dismembered. He got it wrapped up in like saran wrap or something, and he kisses it. He makes out with the head. So y'all, that is the end of episode 4. Let's get into episode 5. I'm gonna do 5 today as well. So let's talk about 5, because I'm ready to wrap this Dahmer situation up, because it's getting real cloudy in my head. It's getting real disturbing. Fuck, Jeffrey Dahmer. And it's like, I'm addicted to serial killer documentaries. So what I'm going to start doing is reviewing a lot of serial killers, because I really enjoy talking about this. I'm sorry. So I don't know who we're going to do next, but let's wrap Dahmer up. I'm gonna get into 5 today as well, so be on the lookout for episode 5 review, and I will tell y'all my opinions and allow you guys to leave your opinions in the comments below. Let's talk about it. That was episode 4. Let's get into 5.